Welcome to my channel. My name is Zari and I'm so happy to have you here. I talk about fashion and sports and everything else in my life in between. What we are talking about today is my monthly fashion digest. Everybody's always doing the videos where they say all the favorite things they've done this month, their collection of favorite items they bought. So I just want to take a different approach and talk about all the things I've been learning and just kind of experiencing with fashion. And just to give you a little bit of background, when I graduated with a minor in retail management. That only covered like the business parts of fashion, our buying, and the little basic parts of fashion. So I just want to dive deeper into fashion and learn the history, all the culture. I'm not setting myself up with like a curriculum or anything like that. I'm just kind of learning as I go. Now that all that's covered, let's go ahead and get into my monthly digest. We are going to start with Paris Fashion Week, and I know that I'm a little bit late on this. I watched maybe about 15-ish shows. I'm not sure. It's around there. I just kept kind of watching them. From each show, I just kind of jotted down some little notes about them, and I'll be talking to you about them right now. For Balenciaga, I really like the diversity in the models. It just seemed as if it was more than one copy of a person, and I noticed how the stomach was the accessory. If you know me, I love to be outside. Well, I don't really like to be outside. It's just if you have the body for it, show it. Even if you don't, show it, but they were really showing that stomach is a new accessory, and I enjoyed that. Their sunnies that they had, I'm not sure which one was my favorite one, so I'm gonna just put like a couple over here. But the music selection is what hooked me. Give me a good beat and like give me good music. I can't dance, but I love something that keeps me locked in, and good music does that for me. Good music is everything. Now YSL, outside of the beautiful scenery, the garden, and then the Eiffel Tower, and it was real nighttime, very beautiful, very romantic, very lovely. The clothes themselves just kind of gave to me everything the same, but in different colors. I did like how they kind of stuck by the earrings being a signature. Every model basically had this type of earring, and it was like 80s reminiscent. It was big and it was bold. I do wear kind of fun earrings. The biggest one I have is like these pearls. It's like a cluster of pearls. So I'm just trying to imagine myself in it, but I liked how those earrings kind of united all the looks together. But the sheer trench coat was the one piece that I really liked. This is another kind of 80s inspired show, Elisa. The scenery, we had the club, but the models are sitting in this gallery, or standing in this gallery, and they're waiting their turns to walk down. It's building the anticipation. It's, the suspense of it all. And then you get to see them go down the runway. So they're taking turns, and then at the end of the show, everybody goes back to the gallery and they serve once more. Tom Ford and the Powerpuff Girls. This one, I was already seeing it on Twitter before I even watched the walk. I knew what to expect, right? But still, like, just seeing it, I was stunned. It was very luxurious and also like edgy. Dior had the debut of Jonathan Anderson, and everybody was waiting for him and several other designers who had their debuts. Anderson, he really stuck to honoring the tradition of Dior and then making something new of it. Construction or setup of the show was basically like Pandora's box to me, because like once you open Pandora's box, it's like all these different things popping up at you, and that's kind of how it was. Dior's history, you're seeing all these go up and then the models come through. So it's a very good moment of the past and the present connecting together. And Jonathan Anderson, he wanted to change is inevitable. I was trying to remember exactly what it was, and I think it was along the lines of that. But also, once change starts to happen, it can't be undone. The clothing for this show, it did range from a little bit of casual, like stuff that you could wear every day, classy. The shoes, they're like these flower shoes, and they draw a lot of attention. Chanel also had a designer debut with Blazy, and I really enjoyed that show. For one, it felt like a fairy tale. It was literally unreal. Having the planets right where the models were, it seemed like a dream almost. Io, she was in the crowd. She's now a ambassador. The closing of the show really brought together the whole vibe of, hey, this is a new thing that we're doing. It was just good to see the designer embrace the closing model, and she is very gorgeous. And talking about her just leads me to talk more about her skirt or her outfit. The skirt itself looks so marvelous, and she is just enjoying every bit of her moment as she so deserves. Alaya, it really showed me several different ways to put together an outfit. Like, there were so many different combinations in the show, how they put things together and saw clothes outside of their normal functions. And that's really something that I've been wanting to do. So the one thing I was confused about was there was these overarm pieces, and I was seeing them like quite a bit throughout other shows, I think, or maybe one or two other shows. And I'm not sure what they are. I'm gonna have to figure out like what the term is. This is why I'm trying to learn more about fashion so I can understand like how to describe what that was. Finally, Mugler, it also gave 80s, and I love the feathers. You know, it was a good show. Now, Vogue World, do you know what it is? Or are you confused like everybody else? They say it's a charity and it's also meant to help Vogue raise money. I'm still a little bit confused because it also kind of gave like a movie con. I don't know. I'm fully not sure. And there's a lot of discussion going on about Vogue World. However, I will just give my props to Black Panther, their whole part of the show. I loved it. And I also think Angela Bassett is trying to low key hint that we have a new Black Panther with Damson Idris. I don't know. I don't know. It's just that's what it was giving because he was supposed to up with everybody else from Black Panther. Another movie that I liked within Vogue World was Edward Scissorhands. I love that movie, but to see Anuki Ai, it was so perfect for her. And Hunter Schafer was also rocking the runway, and the way she took it was everything. She made it a show. Alice Consani, Keith Powers, and Alton Mason, they all ate down. Those are some of the shows I liked in October. I'm going to skip over London Fashion Week, and we're just going to kind of go to the bad side of the fashion shows. During Atlantic was on a podcast with Run Through with Vogue, and I kind of got to hear more about him before his show release, you know, before we all saw what the show was. So hearing him talk, I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't remember every detail. He was sure on not wanting to go through the archives because he didn't want to kind of be influenced by the archives. He wanted to do his own thing and not go into the archives. Cool, you know? That's free for you to do. Since he wants his fresh start and he's been seeing that everything's getting a lot more conservative, he really wants to be unconventional, and he felt that John Paul Gaultier could help him to do that, or it did help him to do that, let him be free in the aspect of creating what he wanted to create. I still just don't quite get how he went from this podcast to putting out the collection he did. The collection was just unfair to women. I'm not going to put the collection on here because I don't want that to be on here. Seeing those pictures, seeing the show, it just felt humiliating almost. And while he is somebody, he spoke on how he doesn't like people who look down on somebody or who mock other people. That's why he's like always wanted to be this voice of kind of being unconventional. He wants, I don't know. So with that being said, we're just going to move on and go into somebody I am very happy for, Grace Walls Bonner. She has been somebody that I've been looking at for a little minute. She's been saved in my list, and you know, I just been like trying to keep up with her. So when we got the notification, I got the notification that she was named creative director for Hermes menswear. I was so happy for her. She is one of the first, and to just see her like break through that door, it means there's so much more coming in the future for other Black women who want to go down that path. And I'm just very happy for all the women who do go down that path to go and do great things. Obviously, she does create stuff mainly for men, but the tailoring is something that I've always admired. Like, regardless of me just being a woman, I just like tailoring and I'm gonna appreciate it, and I'm gonna support Black women. Period. The next designer is Pierre Laborde. He is a Black purse designer in New York City. I don't know if you've seen any of his purses going around on TikTok, but that's where I found out. Now, in my mood board video, I talked about how I was just looking for something that was like a brown animal print with this gorgeous pop of blue. He has like a purse that's like that, and I just know it's calling to me. So I have to find out some way to get to New York City to get this purse. He does sell stuff online, but it does tend to sell out pretty quickly. And I just hate buying things online if I have to rush and grab it. It gives me too much anxiety, and I'd rather just not buy it. Those are just a few of the designers that kind of stuck out to me this month. The next things are going to be pieces that stuck out to me this month. Miu Miu Fall Winter 1999. These boots are also something that's similar to stuff on my mood board. I just really feel as if once you create the mood board and you say that these are the things you want for yourself, they just start appearing out of nowhere. So, and I hope, like, no, I pray that that also comes to light with, you know, your regular life too. Like, once you put out on your mood board that you want to do something, amazing possibilities and opportunities just keep popping up out of everywhere and finding you, because I feel as if that's what's happening. And that's why I found these boots on Twitter. Like, they're gorgeous. The next thing that I kind of found was Chanel Fall Winter 2000. It was a part of the same post, but the fact that they were both there, it just, you know, really meant something. It is monogram heavy, but it's like, it's Chanel, it's chic. I hate that word, but I'm using it because this is Chanel. Next, these jeans by Saint DLM. They are like kind of baggy and they're also structural. They have a detachable skirt on it, which I think draws me in. But at a cost of $660, I'm not buying that. It's not happening. And I'm stuttering a lot because I want to say it's crazy, but it's honestly probably not. It's probably sourced well and made, you know, by hand. I did read Substacks throughout this month, but they were mainly stuff about styling tips, a little bit varied, and then just, you know, where to buy stuff. So I'm not going to share my Substack reads with you. What I watched this month in fashion, it was actually a lot. Mahogany is about Ross being this young designer. She's putting herself through night fashion school, working like a part-time department job. There's a whole lot of things that go on throughout the course of this movie. I did like seeing kind of the political rights stuff in it, but I also kind of didn't like the man. He was honestly a hater and he said some things. So, but we don't look past that and just get to the main point of the story. The main point of the story is she finally got her dream of becoming a designer and realized it wasn't what she wanted. While also realizing that she went through a lot, she saw the bad side of fashion and she saw the good side of fashion. That fashion is not always as glamorous as people might think it is. There may be a cost to being in fashion. And I just also just really love just seeing her be this Black model, and she's like on the shorter side, getting all of her flowers in that time. Moving on from that one, I watched Confessions of a Shopaholic, and while I thought that I was crazy with shopping, there are people who are on other levels. And she was also lying to the man on the street who turned out to be her love interest. You know, it's honestly just crazy how things work out for people. And this was also another story of somebody wanting to get something. She wanted this fashion job. And once she kind of had it, she realized this isn't what I want anymore. Throughout all the thought processes of that movie, it was really just like a fun little rom-com and I liked it. If that movie should tell you anything, or it's the main thing you should take away from it, is don't spend more than you got and don't be lying to everybody because it's going to come back and bite you. The last fashion movie that I watched was, you're going to be surprised by this, The Devil Wears Prada. I never really watched it before. I finally watched it and I get it. I get it. But do I think that people need to make that their whole everything? Absolutely not. But it is a fun movie and it does, you know, just kind of let me know how important fashion truly is. It's not just going to buy things. There's people who had a hand in selecting whether this color would have gotten dropped. Decisions that go into fashion affect a lot of people. They affect the world. And one thing that I've really admired about fashion, why I've always kind of liked fashion, is how much fashion is intertwined into culture, it's intertwined into politics, really anything, business, art. You know, with all art, art can tell you a lot about the place of the world. With that, that's my fashion digest of October, the first one. I hope you like it, but we're going to talk about some of the books that's on my to be read, because this month I was focused on reading other things and not so much fashion. Like, this was kind of like a chill month for fashion learning. I did watch several YouTube videos, but that's just too much to talk about. So I'm not going to talk about the YouTube videos. I'm so sorry. We're just mainly going to focus on these books. So let's get into them. Oh, before I even get into the books, another thing that I really want to do for next month's digest is to go in person and look at some of the exhibitions in Atlanta, because Andre Leon Talley, he has an exhibition in Atlanta right now, and there's another one in Atlanta that I've never really seen. So I want to go to see both of them because I think they're in 10 minutes distance of each other. So we're gonna have to find the time and go to Atlanta and get it done. All right. But talking about Andre Leon Talley, he has a book, She Found Trenches, that has been on my list for the longest. It's been on my list for a long minute. So hopefully I can pick that book up next and get to reading on it because I'm very excited. He's somebody that I've always saw. I have heard some stories though, like about some of the things he went through, which makes me sad. I will be reading the book to get more in-depth version of it in my own perspective of his life. Next, I have Gods and Kings. It was just something else that was recommended to me. The End of Fashion, Fashion Theory, A Reader, Deluxe, How Luxury Lost Its Luster, Dress Code by Veronica Hyland, The Battle of Versailles, which I did see in this documentary about Black models, and I love this so much. And lastly, Make It Out by Virgil Abloh. This one, I don't know what to expect about it, but I will read it eventually. And that's just going to wrap up my October monthly digest fully, everything. Please let me know your thoughts on some of the things I said. And if I did need some correction, correct me, but hold my hand. Hold my hand. Don't be too rude, be a little bit respectful, but I do want to talk more and have a discussion because I feel like discussion is the best ways that you can learn by, letting the ideas roam freely and letting things go from there. So let me know your thoughts on everything down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see more of me, and stay tuned for my other stuff that I post on my channel. Yeah, I can talk about it. Okay. Anywho. Cause he turned away. He turned away.